Hey guys, and welcome back to another Hybrid Network review, where today we're going to be tackling the Hellblazer Rebirth #1. The one-shot, designed to set up the ongoing series by Simon Oliver and artist Moritat, sees John battling wit with a demon that banished him from England several years ago. Can he outwit this dangerous opponent and finally return to his home country? Well, let's find out. Hellblazer Rebirth sits at a very weird place for me personally. I'm a very big fan of the original Hellblazer series, and I'm not a big fan of John Constantine's series in the New 52 and also the DCU. So this was kind of me hoping that they would bring John back to his original self from the original Hellblazer run from Vertigo Comics. In this issue, the bare bones are kind of there. The issue basically starts off with John tricking a demon named the Laughing Boy from sending him to the plains of Erebus, I believe, where John says that, oh, I'll just start a rebellion down there, and all of these souls that you damned to be there are gonna rise up against you. What do you think about that? And that basically kind of sets up how John was sort of banished into America in the DCU run, or I don't know if that was set up in the DCU run. I read like 2 issues and I kind of just lost interest. So if it was set up there, I apologize, but this is kind of them redoing it, I guess. I don't know. He goes to America and he decides to leave once a certain racist used meat salesman starts circling the White House. I thought that was pretty funny. And he comes back to England and meets up with Chaz with a plan to lift this curse off of John. You see, the reason he left England was that a curse was put on him where his soul was forcibly being removed from his alive body, in which John remarks, a soul leaving a dead body is painless like clipping a toenail, but one leaving an alive body, well, that's pretty painful. As one event leads into another, John eventually afflicts the entirety of London to the same curse that the Laughing Boy had placed upon him, and the two begin to discuss a deal to kind of rectify this. The Laughing Boy is definitely trying to get John to call it off and let him claim his soul, to which John is basically biding time for his friend Mercury to come by and tell him the Laughing Boy's real name, so that he can banish him and the curse as well. John does just that, and all of London is pretty much safe. The issue kind of wraps itself up pretty nicely, with John at the end basically saying, would I have let all those people die? You never know. I'm not the kind of guy that really gives a shit, which I've got my own problems with. John Constantine, the Hellblazer Rebirth #1, was definitely a lot better than the DCU run, I think. If you were a fan of that run, I'm not really attacking you personally, but being a fan of the original series, it wasn't really clicking for me. This one, a lot of the bare bones for the John character is there. He's a lot more of a dick, I think, in this issue than in any of the other New 52/DCU things. My only problem is that the book really kind of paints John. He's a lot more of a dick, yes, but I think he's still kind of just this lovable scamp, and based on the book itself, with, you know, all of the swear words being sort of stamped out and censored, and just the overall art design, I don't feel like this book will tackle the more mature themes and the more risque elements that made the original Hellblazer book so charming and interesting, and made it just this really dark kind of look at this character that does what he has to do in order to save people, even if it's at the expense of other people. And that was kind of the main thing, I think, with the Hellblazer book, the value of human life and how much is it really worth, and how much do the deaths of all these people really weigh upon this one man. And John in this one, it doesn't really seem like it's going to tackle that as much. It just seems like it's John basically, you know, doing magic, using a silver tongue. It doesn't really feel like it's going to tackle those mature elements, but I could be wrong. This is just the Rebirth issue after all. If I have to give it a score, probably a 7.5. It's a decent book. It has a lot of really cool stuff in there. They have Mercury from the original Hellblazer series, which I thought was pretty cool. If you guys don't know who she is, she was, I think she started in the Fear Machine story arc, and she would pop back up in just a few other places throughout the series, so that was really cool. There's a few mentions of other stuff that happens in the original Hellblazer, and I think it's cool because it's basically trying to open the door for more passionate Hellblazer fans, but also be new reader accessible, because you really don't have to know anything that happened before to start with this issue. You just have to know that he was in America for a while and now he's back. So that's a nice thing to say. Overall, it was a pretty decent book. I would pick it up, and we'll see how the first arc goes. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Go ahead and subscribe to the Hybrid Network for more of our reviews as they come out, and we'll see you next time. Peace.